Scotland's First Minister, Nicola Sturgeon, has created a world first because never in history has there been a leader who had to quit because they insisted a man was a woman. I don't think any previous leader thought it was possible to insist like that. But Sturgeon, Scotland's leader for 8 years, quit yesterday after making a total fool of herself by passing a law first saying, trans woman was indeed a woman, and then insisting that this man, a rapist, was actually a woman too because before his trial he'd put on a wig and lipstick, even though he still had that telltale bulge in his pants. He was even sent to a woman's prison under her law. But Sturgeon couldn't accept that he was really a man.
Trans women are women, but in the prison context, there is no automatic right for a trans woman.
So there are contexts where a trans woman is not a woman?
No, there is circumstances in which a trans woman will be housed in the male prison estate.
Is there any context in which a woman born as a woman will be housed in the male estate?
Look, we're talking here about trans women.
And I'm now asking about women born as women.
I don't think there are circumstances there, but...
So it's different for trans women?
Well, yes.
With all Scotland laughing at her, she's now quit just a few weeks after saying she had gas in her tank and she wouldn't. But she was still denying the obvious.
Do you believe, though, that the issues, and particularly the row around transgender prisoners, was the straw that broke the camel's back here?
It's not the case that this decision is because of short-term issues. I've faced more short-term issues from time to time over my years in politics than I care to remember. And if it was just that, I wouldn't be standing here today.
She's having a lot of people having trouble believing her. Joining me is the panel, Sky News presenter James McPherson of the Late Debate here on Sky at 10 p.m. And Sky News contributor Daisy Cousens, also with her own YouTube channel. Daisy, never before in this century would anyone dream that a Prime Minister or an equivalent would lose their job by refusing to admit a man was still a man, even if he put on a wig and claimed he was a woman. So what's changed?
Well, I think, Andrew, what's changed can be summed up in 2 words, and those 2 words are the internet. The internet is responsible for the proliferation of these very, very niche ideas into a broader context. I mean, these ideas about sex and gender that Nicola Sturgeon, applied to these laws, that gender is a spectrum and sex and gender are different, etc. I mean, they're actually not that modern. People have been talking about them in universities and academic institutions for decades, but that's where they remained, because when stacked up against reality, they don't really tend to make any sense, with the exception, of course, of allowing people who have gender dysphoria to remedy that by living that as the gender that they feel like. Fast forward to the 21st century with mass communication and the internet and, God forbid, social media, and those very, very niche ideas that should stay where they belong in little niche departments at universities were expressed, and they grew, and they were pushed through the mirror. And fast forward to Nicola Sturgeon, we're in a situation where politicians are, as you say, denying that men are men, in case they put on a wig. It is absolutely ridiculous. But unfortunately, that's where we are, Andrew.